Okay, so let's move on to our last story of the day. A German man who has been caught and charged for some kind of fraud, at least, has a hardware wallet or some kind of device with 50 million euros on it. The hardware device, of course, has been confiscated because it's a physical object, and that's what states can do. They can take things physically. But what they can't do, short of torture, which even the Germans, I suspect, in 2021 aren't capable of doing, at least for 50 million euros, is force him to reveal his password. Now, in the article, it's not clear whether this is just a password to access a hard drive that just has like a file on it with his seed keys, or whether or not the thing that he's not revealing is the seed keys, the 24 words that unlocks his Bitcoin on the blockchain. Because he says, the man was sentenced to jail and has since served his term, maintaining his silence throughout, while police made repeated failed efforts to crack the code to access more than 1,700 Bitcoin, said a prosecutor in the Bavarian town of Kempten. Now, this has been written in a way that leads me to believe that the journalist thinks that there's some kind of hard drive with 1,700 Bitcoin on them. Now, of course, Bitcoin never leave the blockchain, so it could be one of two things, really. There could be a text file on a hard drive, an encrypted hard drive, and the police can't access that hard drive, or we could just be talking about the 24-word seed keys that unlocks the private key that unlocks the access to these 1,700 Bitcoin. This really emphasizes the true power that Bitcoin gives you against the state. Now, I don't know anything about this man. I don't know what his crimes were. It looks like he was caught installing software on computers, making them mine cryptocurrencies for him. Whether or not he was, and again, it's very vague. Was he just going onto computers at his work and installing mining software? I think everybody would see that as an extremely light crime, at most a misdemeanor. Or was he some kind of, hacking computers and making a botnet, or, sending out viruses to people in emails that take over their computers? There are very few details in this article, which is disappointing. But this just shows you exactly how powerful people can be when they have Bitcoin. They don't need to reveal it except through extreme coercion, which most modern states aren't prepared to do. The prosecutor in this story, we asked him, but he didn't say. Perhaps he doesn't know. Perhaps he doesn't know. It's very similar to our previous story.
We like the stock. We like the stock.
Because when it really comes down to it, and I'm not saying it will, and I hope it doesn't, but if there ever is a time, or a time in our future where we are dealing with a tyrannical regime that is trying to seize our wealth, take away our Bitcoin, our assets, just like is happening in many, many countries, they have the final defense that no other asset holder has, which is, of course, I've lost my keys. If you like this show, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. I hear it helps. So, anyway, see you tomorrow.